November 30th, 1864. Shattered Line. The Battle of Franklin marked one of the most intense and destructive clashes of the American Civil War. This engagement unfolded as part of Confederate General John Bell Hood's Tennessee campaign, a late-war attempt to disrupt Union control in the region and compel the Federal Army to withdraw from Georgia. The battle's significance rests in its speed, scale of losses, and the irreversible blow it delivered to the Confederate Army of Tennessee. The event compressed extraordinary violence into a 5-hour span and reshaped the final phase of the Western theater. Union Major General John M. Schofield led the Army of the Ohio as it withdrew north from Columbia to join Major General George H. Thomas in Nashville. Schofield found Confederate forces blocking his route at Spring Hill on November 29th, but a breakdown in Confederate command allowed him to slip past Hood's army during the night. Hood, angered by the missed chance to isolate the Union force, pursued to the small town of Franklin, where Schofield had positioned his troops behind a strong line of earthworks south of the Harpeth River. The Union troops prepared temporary defenses while engineers repaired a destroyed bridge to secure their escape to Nashville. Hood ordered a frontal assault against the fortified Union center late in the afternoon. His decision stemmed from a belief that delay would allow Schofield to withdraw unhurt, and he aimed to strike with enough force to shatter the Union line before nightfall. Approximately 20,000 Confederate soldiers advanced across open ground in a broad formation. The approach exposed them to concentrated rifle fire and artillery from fortified Federal positions. The battle's opening moments produced immediate heavy casualties, and close-quarters fighting erupted once the Confederate attackers reached the Union breastworks. The Union center experienced the hardest pressure. Major General Patrick Cleburne, one of the Confederacy's most respected division commanders, led part of the assault and was killed near the Union line. His fall symbolized the level of loss within Hood's command. Several Confederate generals also died or were wounded during the action, including John Adams, States Rights Gist, Hiram Granbury, Otho Strahl, and others. Their presence at the front reflected the desperate nature of Hood's attack and the personal leadership style expected in the Army of Tennessee. Union forces under Brigadier General Jacob D. Cox and other commanders held firm after initial breakthroughs were contained. Reserve troops counterattacked to seal gaps, and Federal artillery inflicted further damage as Confederate units attempted to reorganize. Fighting continued after sunset as soldiers battled through smoke and darkness along the defensive works. The Federal line never collapsed. By the time the firing tapered off, the Confederate assault had failed to achieve a single decisive breach. The casualty figures reveal the scale of the disaster. Estimates place Confederate losses at about 6,000 killed, wounded, or missing, a devastating share of the attacking force. The Union Army suffered roughly 2,300 casualties, heavy but far smaller in proportion. The Confederate general officer losses were especially damaging, removing leadership that could not be replaced so late in the war. The Army of Tennessee emerged from Franklin weakened beyond recovery, even before its later defeat at Nashville on December 15th-16th. The battle's significance extended beyond its immediate tactical results. The destruction of experienced Confederate divisions and the deaths of highly capable officers signaled the collapse of organized Confederate resistance in Tennessee. Hood's army entered the campaign already strained from the Atlanta operations of 1864 and the difficult march north. The attrition at Franklin accelerated its decline and undermined strategic possibilities for the Confederacy in the Western theater. After the follow-up defeat in Nashville, the Army of Tennessee ceased to exist as an effective fighting force. The battle also became a defining episode in the memory of the war's Western Front. Participants described Franklin as unparalleled in its intensity and personal sacrifice. Union veterans pointed to the strength of their improvised defenses and the determination of their counterattacks. Confederate survivors recalled the courage of the assault and the sense of irrevocable loss that followed. The field, marked by the Carter House, the Carnton home, and the surrounding open ground, emerged as a symbol of the war's cost. The Battle of Franklin stands as a pivotal moment in the Civil War's final year. Its outcome confirmed Union control of central Tennessee and removed one of the last major Confederate field armies as a strategic threat. The speed, ferocity, and scale of casualties compressed into a few hours set it apart from other engagements of the conflict. The event's significance lies in the clarity of its result, a decisive Union defensive victory that contributed directly to the Confederacy's declining capacity to conduct major operations in the West. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.